Then for the next one, I actually wanted a fantasy story, and it turned out pretty exciting, though. It's really not going anywhere, to be honest. But I really, really wanted to see more of it, but I ran out of, free tries, so I guess it ends here, but maybe we can continue later if you're interested. So here you go. So I wrote in one sentence to start with. 2 dragons flew over the sky. Me and my elf friend shivered with fear. And this is where the generating starts. The 2 of us had been hiding from an evil dragon that was chasing after us until we met an even more dangerous dragon. I'm so sorry I brought you into danger, my elf friend apologized while shaking his head in shame. The more he talked, the less I believed him. He seemed to be a very untrustworthy elf who wanted nothing but trouble for me and my life. If only I could trust him, then maybe things would have been different. But I couldn't do it at all because he gave me no reason to. To make matters worse, the 2 of us were being chased by 2 flying monsters at once. One was a monster that looked like a giant bird creature, while the other one had the body of a large snake. I should have known better than to think these 2 creatures would just let me go without having something to say about it. We are both going to die here, I said as I clenched my fist tightly. But I'll be damned if I'm gonna let any of these monsters get me. My elf friend must have understood what I meant, because he nodded with a serious look on his face. You got this, bud? He asked. Yes, I don't want to die, but... Don't worry, we'll pull through somehow. It seemed like he was trying to convince himself more than anything else. I didn't really understand why he felt that way, though. Hey, do you know how to use magic? I asked him while pointing toward the flying snake monster. I can cast empowerment, my elf friend answered, but I wouldn't call myself good at it. He thought he was good at magic? How could someone who didn't even know what they were doing possibly be considered good at anything? What is your name? I asked. Saijin, and mine is Fyro. After exchanging names, my friend told me that he was originally from a village called Rengetsu. I'd never heard of it before, but I guess that made sense since there are probably tons of villages scattered across the world. Why did you come out here all alone? I asked. I'm not sure, Saijin answered, but I can tell you for certain that I came to see the Dragon Lord. The Dragon Lord? That's right, I wanted to meet the Dragon Lord. The Dragon Lord? Yes. Well, now I knew where he was coming from. That was pretty much the same thing I wanted to do when I first arrived in this country. And although I didn't know what he was hoping to gain from meeting him, I also wanted to find out more about his identity. Do you know which way is the Dragon Lord's palace? I asked. No. Then we're screwed. I started to panic as I realized that the path to the Dragon Lord's palace might be longer than I thought. Maybe I can still help, Saijin offered. Even if I can't fly, I'm pretty strong. Thanks. I appreciate it. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. You said you need to talk to the Dragon Lord, right? Yeah. Well, he lives in a cave deep within the mountain. According to what I've heard, it's near a lake called Lake Amara. Lake Amara, I repeated. Isn't that the name of a famous castle? I remembered seeing it mentioned in the books I read back home. It was a huge fortress that stood on a cliff overlooking the sea. You are right, Saijin replied. There is a lot of history behind that place, but I'm not exactly sure what happened. Why don't you tell me? I don't know where to start. Before I even had a chance to ask another question, the 2 flying monsters swooped down toward us. There wasn't enough time to argue or even prepare myself for battle. Not again, I groaned as I braced myself for a fight. The 2 monsters landed in front of us and began attacking. They shot fireballs at us while using their long tongues to slash at our bodies. Fireball! Slash! We used the skills that we learned in training to defend ourselves against the attacks. However, the monster's spells seemed to have greater impact than ours. Are these guys stronger than usual? Saijin asked. I shrugged my shoulders. Of course they were! These weren't just regular monsters. They were monsters that looked like birds and snakes combined. Ugh, I'm tired, my friend muttered as he held his head in pain. This is too much for me. I turned around to check on him, only to realize he was bleeding. His entire body was covered in blood. If he kept this up, he was going to die. How many times do I have to tell you to stop talking? I snapped. Sorry. Don't apologize. Just keep fighting. As I walked away, I noticed that the sky started to turn orange. The sun was setting, which meant that we didn't have much time left. We needed to get to the Dragon Lord's palace fast. Can you use your healing magic on me? Sure. Hurry, I'm dying here. The moment Seijin cast his spell, I felt my wounds heal. Now that I was feeling better, I took a quick glance at the monsters that were chasing after us. They are getting closer. Keep casting your spells. I'll focus on the monsters flying above us. It seemed like Seijin already had an idea for what he needed to do. He was focusing on the monsters that were shooting fireballs at us and blocking them with his shield. Meanwhile, I used my magic to shoot lightning bolts at the flying snakes. I'm glad you're okay, Fyro. Me too. With the monsters distracted, we were able to escape from them. We rushed through the air as fast as we could before landing on top of a nearby mountain. Let's rest here for a bit, Seijin suggested. Fine by me. We rested for a few minutes before heading off again. Although my body was exhausted, I knew that I wasn't close to giving up yet. I wanted to reach the Dragon Lord's palace and learn everything I could about him. Looks like we're safe, Seijin said as he pulled out a map from his bag. Good job! I gave him a high five, since he helped me out earlier. It was nice to finally see some progress, especially considering how hopeless it seemed just a minute ago. Where are you headed next? I asked. We should follow the road to the southern part of the island. From there, we'll head south and eventually reach the Dragon Lord's palace. The sun was starting to set, so we decided to wait until morning before continuing our journey. I laid back down on a rock while Seijin sat beside me. You alright? I'm fine. I'm worried about you. I'm not really hurt, just a little dizzy. Seijin put his hand on my shoulder, and I felt a wave of relief wash over me. For some reason, I could tell that he cared about me. I wondered if he would actually help me if I ever needed it. Are you sure you're okay? Seijin asked. Yeah, I'm fine, I lied. Just a little dizzy. After resting for a while, we continued our journey. Soon enough, we reached the southern tip of the island. You're right, the road does seem to lead straight to the Dragon Lord's palace, Seijin said as he pointed at the map. So, what happens when we get there? I'm not sure. Now that we were nearing our destination, I wanted to get some answers. I didn't know what kind of people lived in this world, but if they were as powerful and mysterious as the Dragon Lord, then I wanted to learn more about them. How exactly do you plan on getting inside? Seijin asked. I mean, I know there is a gate, but who will open it for us? Do we have to pay them? Or maybe there's a password or something we have to recite? His questions made me smile. He was asking me all kinds of random things that made absolutely no sense at all. Look, I don't know, I replied, but I have a good feeling about it. Let's just hope that we can figure it out when we get there. All right. Seijin seemed convinced that we would be able to enter the Dragon Lord's palace without a problem. I wasn't so sure about that, but I figured that we would find out soon enough. Hey, Fyro. Yeah? Do you think there's something wrong with me? Huh? I mean, am I actually a wizard? I was taken aback by his sudden question, but I couldn't deny it. Even if he hadn't told me, I would have realized it just by looking at his eyes. I guess that makes sense, I replied. I mean, you are really strong. Yeah, I guess that's true. I don't really know what a wizard is though. Can you explain what it means? I don't know anything about wizards, so I won't be much help. Well, in that case, I stopped myself just as I was about to tell him something. What if Seijin wasn't a wizard and I accidentally revealed my secret to him? Would he laugh at me because I was stupid enough to believe in magic? Okay, I'll answer your question, he interrupted. I'm definitely not a wizard. That made me feel better. I didn't want to tell him anything about my past, so I decided to change the subject. How come you can cast magic? I asked. Is it because of your magical powers or something? No, it's not that, Seijin replied. I know a lot about magic, so I can use it easily. Wow, that's impressive. It doesn't seem that special though. It is to me. I was impressed that Seijin has such a large knowledge base about magic. And this is where it ends. See? It's so exciting. Will they find the Dragon Lord? Is Seijin a wizard or not? Like, but he's an elf, and I'm a bit confused. Also, I kind of ship them. But anyways, I really want to maybe continue this if you're interested. I don't know if I can though, but yeah, I definitely want to make more of these AI generated stories. So yeah, like and subscribe to see more, maybe. Yeah, bye.